Israelites, what it do, family? Brother Judah Israel. I got something on my spirit, y'all, something in my heart that I want to share with y'all. And it's about Three-Eye Atlas, maybe a couple other things. But what's up with Three-Eye Atlas, y'all? I mean, I haven't really watched anybody's YouTube channel that's showing live scenes of it in space, but it hasn't left the solar system so far where people still can't see it. But anyhow, my hope during the time that it came into our solar system, since last August, I think I became aware of it. My hope the whole time was that Earth was going to be its destination. And nobody said that Earth isn't Three-Eye Atlas's destination, probably just not right now. But for what's certain, though, really, family, is that the book of Daniel chapter 2 says that our Messiah will return as a rock cut without hands. But the thing is, nobody knows exactly when that's going to be. But also, Scripture says in Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, when our Father Yahuwah does send him back, all eyes will see him. All eyes will see him as he's coming. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. We just don't know when that is. Okay, and as far as like NASA is concerned, they were constantly saying it's a comet because they're terrified. Okay, well, if it's just a comet, then why come they won't show us the close-up images that were taken of this aircraft when it zoomed past Mars? It was much more closer than it's past Earth. So that's when the government shut down. And so, okay, so now the government is open and they still saying it's a comet. Show the public the close-up images of Three-Eye Atlas if it's just a comet. Why hide or be secretive about a comet? You know what I'm saying? I mean, one of the things, family, I know the scripture says be anxious for nothing, but one of the things pertaining to why I am so eager for the switch to happen is because, as scripture says in the book of Ecclesiastes, the more knowledge you attain, the more sorrowful you will become. Because you will find out that this Gentile system, everything that they set up about it is a lie. Everything. And it's just so, we can do all things through Yahushua HaMashiach who strengthens us. We can get through anything if we just lean on him. And that's what we are supposed to do. That's what I have been doing. But still, when you know that this whole system that they set up is a lie, it's really just frustrating, because we got to be patient and wait till our Father send our Messiah back to change all this stuff, and the main thing that gets me is that about this crooked society is that they stole our identity. They stole our history, and everything about our scriptures that our Father gave Israelite men to write, they changed the images, of their own likeness. It says that in scripture too. So it's like, and then they want to come down against us and say that we're racist, Hebrew Israelites, we're racist and we're trying to make everything about color. No, if they had left things as it was, you know what I'm saying, and see the society that they set up, they're going to try to alter our scriptures, to fit them. But scripture will never fit them because scripture doesn't revolve around them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they think they have the authority, the audacity to come up with this system, about a white Jesus and the people that they, teach this mess They're expecting a rapture that is not even in scripture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they kicked our father, Yahuwah Elohim Almighty, to the curb, and Yahushua Mashiach, and came up with their own God and gave him an image as a Caucasian person. That is a lie. This whole system is a lie, family. They hated their own history and where they came from. Those Caucasus Mountains. They hated their own history. They stole ours. And it's like for so many centuries, they've been getting away with it. That's really frustrating. And they told us we're somebody that we're not. So this whole system is a lie. Nobody's who they say they are. It's just a pack of lies. And I'll be so happy when our Father sent our Messiah back here, as that rock cut with our hands, to take these nations down, their armies, military forces, and set up his kingdom on earth. And we won't have to be living among people celebrating fake pagan holidays. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. This whole society is set up and being awakened by our Father and the Ruach HaKodesh, to who we are as a people, why the things happen to us because of our ancestors' sin, and that in the end times we were gonna come to ourselves in the land of our captors, and thanks to our Father Yah and the Ruach HaKodesh, this is what has happened. And not only that, is that knowing the truth of who we are now and why these things happen to us, and you got to look around in the society that they set up, and was just to keep the identity of the so-called Negroes hidden. We are truly Israelites. Everything revolves, scripture, all of it revolves around our Father Yah and the people that he chose. So our people fell, and they went, they got the blessing and was able to rise to the head, but they weren't doing any better than our ancestors did when they was in charge. And, they set up everything in these religions and stuff like that. So it's just, and then, like this job that I'm at right now, it's they just don't live by the truth. When it comes to us, everything is a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a deception, Like here is like, we used to, like most jobs I've worked at, been working in Minnesota 31 years. And every job I ever had is like, you build up PTO time. But here, you can't do that. And if you got hired after January 2023, they said, okay, well, you guys, since you started after January 2023, I got hired in December 2023, coming up on 2 years, actually this week. I have a 2-year anniversary. And so they said, you guys don't accumulate PTO hours. Over time, you accumulate sick hours. So it was like after a week, you do a week without missing a day or something like that, or even being late, you get 1 sick hour. So you work a few weeks, you can get 8 sick hours. You know what I'm saying? But they even changed that. I haven't had a sick hour probably since October. I talked to the assistant administrator about it, because she was the what you call that? She handles HR, human resources, but her position now is called assistant administrator. And so I talked to her about it, and I said, look, we got an app. You can look at it and see how many sick hours you got, PTO days and stuff like that. Your check is ready. So I'll be looking in the app, and I have no sick hours accumulated. So I'm going to her to ask her, how many sick hours do I have, thinking that they might have just forgot to put it on there. And she was like, well, you have to work 30 days to get 1 sick hour. So she told me that at the beginning of December, and the last sick hour I had was in October. Didn't get any in November, and it's at the end of December. Still don't have any at all. So it's like stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still in these leadership positions, and we as Israelites, we have to deal with all this stuff, And without, leaning on Messiah, Yahushua Mashiach, it's just not easy all the time. But because of him, and I thank our Father for sending him for us, that it's not as bad as it could be, because we have our powers back, that turn back to us. So I'm grateful for that, but nevertheless, it's still difficult living in a society just based on lies. You know what I'm saying? But, as children of Yah, the Israelites, scripture says that, all those who live godly in Yahushua Mashiach will suffer persecution. So we're going to go through some tough times. If you remember what the scripture says, family, about when our ancestors was in Egypt. Okay, and then Moses was told by our father to go talk to Egypt and tell him to let my people go. And so Pharaoh got, pissed off. And so he made it harder for the Israelites, so he told them, he came down on them even harder. This is right before their Exodus. They had to make bricks without straw, which is had to, produce the same amount of bricks without straw as they was producing when they was able to use straw. So he made that task harder. Okay, so if you're going through some real hard stuff now, even more than you have before, family, like I am, like on this job, and then they still haven't bought any supplies that I need to get my stuff done. I told this one brother, I said, hey, when I just run out of everything, I'm just going to use water. And he started laughing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to spend my money to buy supplies and stuff that they supposed to provide, for me to get my job done. But anyway, see, all this kind of stuff, and, so it's like, I'm just tired already. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready for the Exodus like yesterday. And I know many of y'all are, you know what I'm saying? But we got to wait on our Father Yah, because it's all going to be done in his timing. You know what I'm saying? So, so pray for me, family, and I'm going to keep y'all up in prayer like I do all the times. I pray on my knees, the Lord's Prayer, the Adonai's Prayer, on my knees, and I always ask our Father to protect all Israelites from all hurt, harm, and danger worldwide. So y'all keep me lifted up in your prayers too. I know some of y'all doing it already. And so, it's just so we can, just ask our Father to give us what we need just to get through this, this Gentile-led system, until it's our time, Jacob's time. Okay, so another thing about 3-Eye Atlas, like I said, my hope was that Earth was going to be its destination, but I never said that it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's just not right now, but it doesn't mean that it ain't going to be in the future. I mean, in the near future. You know what I'm saying? We just got to keep watching and waiting, just like scripture says. So with that, family, I'm just going to end right here and say one love and shalom.